Paris, the city of romance. But for the next 6 weeks there'll be no love lost between nations as the world's top 20 teams attempt to claim the William Web Ellis Trophy.
Elle est pour qui la Vivi? Elle est pour qui l'ananas? Elle est pour qui la Vinas?
Once again, the All Blacks start as favourites, but can Graham Henry's well-oiled machine maintain the momentum necessary to book a place with destiny on October the 20th at the Stade de France, and as a consequence acclaim the title for just the second time in their history? Or will somebody stop them, and if so, who will that be? Australia, the one team to beat the All Blacks in the Tri-Nations this year? France, playing on home soil and the enigma of world rugby? England, the current defending champions, looking anything like world beaters? And South Africa, the one team who look as though they have got the artillery to put a stop to the All Black tilt for the title. Well, it's with the Springbok we start, as we go to find out what the players think is going to pan out in the next 6 weeks. So Victor, now just a few days away from your first match in the Rugby World Cup, what's the feeling like in the squad?
Yeah, I think the guys are very excited to be in Paris at last. We only arrived on Tuesday and we thought it's going to be a short week, but I think the excitement is so high, it still feels like a very long week, and we can't wait to get to the game and just start playing now.
Now, there's a lot being made in the press, obviously, about the All Blacks. Even today on the front page of L'Equipe, it's the purr of the All Blacks, and everyone's afraid of them. As a team, do you feel that you've got what it takes to beat them, or is that looking too far ahead at the moment?
I think that's a bit far away. There might be even a chance we won't even face them in the World Cup. So I think we need to focus on ourselves. We need to focus on Samoa firstly, and then after that on England. And I think this first 2 weeks is very important for our whole campaign. So I think that's what we're focusing on at the moment. And if we get to the All Blacks at some stage, I think we do believe in ourselves, and we do believe we can beat them on the day.
Now, you mentioned England, which is obviously the crunch game in your group, although Samoa will probably pose a very tough test in your opening game. How has the news about Johnny Wilkinson's injury been treated in your camp? Is it something you try and block out, or does it give you a little bit of a morale boost?
To be honest, we haven't really had a look at that yet. We're really focusing on Samoa. I think it's going to be a very tough game. Everyone is just talking about the England game, and that's going to decide the pool. But I really think Samoa is going to be a great threat. But yes, it's a pity for Johnny. I think it's sad for any player to miss out on a World Cup, so hopefully he'll be back soon. And even if it's maybe better for us if he doesn't play, for him, we really hope he'll be back soon.
Now, looking at the opening weekend of fixtures in the World Cup, there's some very interesting ones, but probably the most interesting from a neutral's point of view is France against Argentina. Have you been paying attention to sort of any of these other games, and how do you think that one's going to go, really?
I think we're very happy we're going to the game on Friday night, so the guys are looking forward to that. So yes, I think that's going to be a huge game. That's probably the most difficult pool of all the pools, with Ireland in there as well. So that's going to be very interesting, and especially I think Argentina did beat France the last time they played here in Paris. So it's going to be a very good game, and yes, I think that's going to be a decider in that pool.
And the French obviously feel as though they're hitting the ground running coming into this World Cup. They've got very good form. Of all of the Northern Hemisphere sides, do you think they're the one who posed the biggest sort of challenge to win the title?
Yes, I think the home team will always be a dangerous team, and especially them. I think the 3 warm-up games they played, they were very good, and they must be full of confidence, and everyone knows when the French are confident, they're a very difficult team to play against. So yes, I think with New Zealand, they're probably right up there to be favourites.
Now, the one big Southern Hemisphere side we haven't mentioned is Australia. You played against them in the Tri-Nations. They're the only team to have beaten the All Blacks in the Tri-Nations this season. So do you think they'll have quite a lot of confidence coming into the World Cup as well?
The Wallabies always time their timing so good with the World Cup, so I think they'll be a difficult team to beat. I also think they probably don't have the depth some of the other teams got, but their first 15 are very strong, and they've got a lot of experience there, especially under the backs. So they're going to be a very good team as well, and that's what's nice about this World Cup. I think there's probably 4 or 5 sides that really can win this World Cup, and it's going to be very interesting.
How much benefit do you think it's going to be for sides who have players who play their rugby in the Northern Hemisphere? Because the conditions are obviously different. You're going to be moving here after the World Cup. But, I mean, do you think it's of any benefit at all, or do you think that nowadays in world rugby you just adapt to your playing conditions a lot quicker?
Yes, I think you'll just adapt, and also I think the timing of the competition now, it's not as wet as it normally is when we came over in the autumn or November. So I think it's very much the same as Southern Hemisphere conditions, so I don't think that will be a big factor.
Who do you see winning this World Cup?
I hope it will be us, but like I said, I think it's going to be very tough. I think ourselves, France, the All Blacks and Australia are probably the four sides that can really win this, so it's going to be very interesting.
Well, wish you all the best. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's all we have time for on this occasion, but do join us after the weekend as we take a look back at the opening 8 fixtures of the Rugby World Cup 2007, starting of course with that crunch fixture between Argentina and France.